And Peter's response is, Lord, I phileo you. I have a brotherly affection for you. A second time Jesus asks him, Peter, do you agape me? And Peter says, I phileo you. And then if you want to encapsulate the whole grace message, it can be encapsulated in this third question. Peter, do you phileo me? And Peter says, hey, I phileo you. There's a higher level, Peter, that you can live and operate in. But you know what? I'll come down and let's start where you are right now. If you can't get to where I am will come down to where you are. That's the gospel in a nutshell. We could not get back to where I am is, so I am came down to where we are in order to help us up to where he is. And in all, that's just the heart of love. That's just his whole message. For God, so, because it's unconditional love that consumes, it's selfless, it's boundless love, he so agaped the world that he sent his only son. Jesus so agapes the Father that he was willing to come. And I described it this way, that you and I are caught up in this eternal swirl of love from the Father to the Son and the Son to the Father, and we're caught in the middle of it. For God so loved the world, so agaped the world, not the dirt, you and I, so agaped you and I, he didn't force, eject the Son down. It's like God so wants Jesus to have his bride, and Jesus so wants to restore what Satan took back to the Father. The Father wants to release love, to awaken the bride. You see that in Song of Songs. I'm dark yet lovely. Don't look at me. I'm asleep but my heart was awake. It's all this issue. If you read Song of Songs 1:1 right through to the end, you watch the transformation of an orphan who's rejected, who's abused, who's suffered at the hands of family and friends, who has this lowly self-opinion of herself, and you watch her transformed it into this stunning bride at the end. That's us. In case you didn't see yourself in the mirror. You're the stunning bride. That's it. And God so loved the world that he wants the bride to emerge for his Son, and the Son so loves the Father, he wants to restore everything Satan stole. And you and I are caught in this love slosh fest between the two of them. This love thing, and you and I are the recipients of it all. The Father, you read in 1 Kings, Abishag learns this whole issue of the Father's love and her restoration. That's why she's the Shulamite in Song of Songs. That's why Solomon says to her, you are my sister, because we shared the same Father, but you're also my spouse, my bride, my fair one, my lovely. And in order to get to that place, because of the traumas and the pain and everything else that many of us have gone through in life, the first thing is to come to understand that the Father loves us, because the agape, the raw love, the intimate love, this intimacy message is so rich. For some, they need healing along the way to be able to contain it. And Jesus was never sent. He never volunteered to come. He willingly said, you know what? I agape you so much, Father God. I'll go. Greater love hath no man than he lays down his life for a friend. I no longer call you servants, I call you friends. And Jesus so, he's so willing to come to lay down his life for us in order to redeem us back to the Father, that in the process he gets his bride too. That's redemption's plan. Jesus didn't come down to the religious leaders of the day. He didn't come because he loved the squeaky clean believers, only the perfect ones. He sent his one, his only Son, his precious Son, for the worst and the best of all sinners. Such is the Father's love for us. And in Genesis 3, you have this amazing picture that goes on. I mean, we all need to learn just this one revelation. That Adam and Eve have sinned, they've fallen, they've come short, and their instinct is to run from God, but he still keeps coming for them. He who knows everything that goes on in the universe knew they'd sinned, yet he still drew near to them, even as they drew away from him. It's like he doesn't take flight, they do. He draws near to them, they withdraw. And many of us have this misconception about him that if we've sinned, he keeps his distance from us. Not true. Scripturally unsound. Theologically inaccurate. He keeps coming to us. He keeps longing for that relationship to be restored. We have this mentality, it comes out of the Dark Ages, it comes out of purgatory and penance, that if we sin or do something wrong, we're put on eternal probation. Not true. If we step out of line, I summed it up this way on Tuesday, if we step out of line, he's this huge Robocop, totally indestructible, whose eyes in the sky, all these secret cameras around. And if we step out of line in thought, in word or in deed, watch out. Robocop will get you. Big policeman. As if speed cameras weren't enough, now you've got God cams all over the place. Everything you say, everything you do, every heart attitude, everything, he's going to get me. Got to be thinking, don't. I'm surprised any of us get up in the morning, frankly. But then if we didn't, we'd be wrong. So now I'm caught in this dilemma. Do I get up or don't I? If I get up and it's wrong, this is why we're going to deal with fear tomorrow. One of the big aspects is fear of God. This big policeman. Super cop. Sin doesn't change God. Nothing does. God's God. God is love. Full stop. It's not open for discussion. It's like that other annoying verse in the Bible, when you've done all to stand, stand. I mean, stand. I mean, that's just, can we sit down for a while? Go on vacation? Have time out? Rest? Sleep? No, when you've done all to stand, stand. It's just like, so you've got the verses there, 1 John 4:8, 1 John 4:16, they put it in the Bible twice just so we get the message. God is love. God is agape. Pure, unconditional, unselfish, deep, passionate love. And his plan was that he would model parenting to Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve would model it to Cain and Abel and Seth. And Seth would model it to Enosh and all the way down. By the way, if you want to go away, this is a rabbit trail, but if you want to go away, I think it's like the first 8 generations of the Bible, all the names of the people in Jesus' genealogy for the first 8 generations sum up the gospel. If you look at the meaning of their name, you've got the gospel. I think it's just so cool. Only God could sort that one out. That it's there. But he, the idea is that Father God would model his son Adam, Adam would model his children they would model their children, all the way down to you and I. Now how cool that would be. Your mum and dad